At sa pagtatapos ng linggong ito, pag-usapan po natin ang nagdaang eleksyon nung Lunes lamang at kung ano maaari nating asahan sa bagong administrasyon.
Kasama po natin ngayon ang political analyst na si Professor Richard Heydarian. Magandang gabi po, Professor.
Magandang gabi.
Salamat po sa inyong pagbisita sa amin.
Pleasure.
Yung sa parang Monday lang yung elections, but I think people are ready for the new administration. Don't you think so?
Actually, nung pag pinanood mo yung mga meeting de avance, kung na-follow mo yung campaign trail, I think ito yung pinaka-polarizing elections ever in Philippine history. Lalong-lalo na sa social media. Grabe yung away sa pagitan ng mga leading candidates. But come election day, biglang nagtahimik lahat. Si President Aquino nag-release na statement na tanggapin natin kung sino nanalo. We have to respect the democratic process. Medyo mabilis yung transmission. In fact, by parang gabi ng more or less midnight ng gabi, alam na natin more or less si Mayor Digong naman nanalo. So, and very peaceful. I think if you look at yung mga election-related violence or anomalies, napakababa compared sa mga dating presidential elections. And of course, 99.7% yata yung success rate sa mga VCMs. I think like 120 out of 92,000 ang nagkaroon ng problema. So overall, ang bilis. And by the next day, after elections, nakita natin yung Philippine stocks highest in 9 months, no? So nagre-recover yung merkado at nakita natin yung mga tao na dati nag-criticize kay Mayor Digong, maganda na yung pagtungo nila kay Mayor Digong. Of course, yung concession speech ni Ross, very amiable, very friendly siya. I wish you success.
As well as kay Senator Grace po.
Of course, kay Senator Grace po, very graceful, mabilis lumabas na that night. But of course, yung mahalaga kasi yung second eh. And kung nakita mo yung meeting de avance ni Rojas at saka Duterte, talagang kinakabahan ako noon. Anong mangyari dito? Diyos ko, di ba? And then, but yung social media, parang medyo nag-cool down na rin. Di na nangyari masyado yung polarizing rhetoric katulad ng mga campaign trail period.
Parang unusual yan for a Philippine elections, hindi ba? Na parang, uy, uso na pala yung pwedeng magko-concede yung mga natalo na candidate.
I don't know.
Where do you attribute
But it already happened before. Pero ngayon parang talagang mas na-emphasize, no?
Well, I mean,
It somehow pacified the atmosphere.
Yeah, kasi napaka-clear yung mandato ni Mayor Digong. Clear win siya eh, hindi siya close fight. So I think natanggap ng tao, ito talagang hatol ng bayan at re-respetuhin natin.
So speaking of a clear win, masasabi bang phenomenal yung pagkakahalal kay Duterte? The reason why I ask this is because parang although matagal na siyang politiko, matagal na siyang nagsisilbi sa local government, eh parang sinasabi kasi na parang anti-establishment candidate itong si Mayor Digong, katulad ni Donald Trump naman ng Amerika.
Well,
what can you say about
my argument in recent articles ay iba talaga yung dalawa. No? I mean, Donald Trump, reality show star siya, real estate mogul siya. Wala siyang experience sa politika habang si Mayor Digong, at least 20 years of experience sa Davao at may exhibit A siya. Diba? May pakita siya sa case of Davao. Or at least yung perception ng tao ay yung Davao ay parang Singapore of the Philippines.
But do you consider his win a phenomenal one?
I think 3 factors contributed, hindi lang isang factor. One factor very quickly is yung grievance politics. Pagod na pagod ng tao sa mga empty promises, gusto nilang iba. So yung mga mainstream candidates, hindi na ganun kalakas yung appeal. Yung pangalawa, nagkamali din yung mga ibang candidates or meron silang mga skeleton in the closet. I think if si Vice President Binay, wala siyang corruption issues, I think kayang-kaya na manalo sa election na yan. Kasi kung may Davao model, may Makati model din. Diyan nga siya nanalo noong 2010. So, kay Ross naman, ang problema sa kanya, parang naging referendum candidate siya. So, lahat ng mga palpak na Aquino administration siya kanya sinisi. And kay Grace pa, I think yung problema niya is yung bandang dulo, yung endorsement kay ERAP, yung association with Danding Coangco. Yung mga ganun, I think marami na turn off dyan. So, nakikita natin yung ABC vote niya lalo, nag-switch kay Duterte. And then the third factor is napaka-effective yung social media strategy.
Let's go there.
Mayor Duterte. If titignan natin yung previous elections noong 2010, nakita natin yung mga netizens very much against Senator Nancy Binay, no? But hindi siya nag-work. So maraming tao akala nila, baka itong social media na yan, overrated na yan. But this election time, nakita natin na one camp, particular camp ni Mayor Duterte, kasi wala silang pera masyado, sabi nila, di natin kaya yung mainstream media, doon na tayo tutok, doon sa social media. And I think they almost perfected the art. Yung reach nila, napakalawak. Yung abilidad nila na ma-promote, yung Davao model, very, very astute and slick yung ginawa nila. So, they perfected the art of using social media and very active yung supporters.
Si Miriam ang nagsabi niya na she will conduct her campaign sa social media. But I think, as a matter of example, sila Digong yung nagpakita how you can use. Can you say now na, in terms of campaign strategies, may bago na tayong laro?
Yeah, actually ang tawag ko kay Mayor Digong is meta-candidate. Hindi lang siya simple candidate. Siya yung candidate na iniba yung rules of the game. Iniba niya yung expectation, yung conception ng ano dapat ang isang kandidato. Kaya sobrang unique siya in his own way. So from now on, expect mo yung mga susunod na election, maraming tao gusto nilang gagayahin si Mayor Digong. But for me, there will be always only one Digong in human history. I think exceptional case yan. Perfect timing din yan. I think, for instance, if si Mayor Digong tumakbo noong 2010, I think mahirapan siya kasi yung grievance politics hindi katulad na ngayon. So perfect timing, nagkamali yung mga kalaban, and galing din yung strategy nila, nag-compensate sila. And not to mention, si Mayor Digong, of course, ang galing niya sa media rin. Ang galing niya makilaro sa media. He's always on the headlines, right? Kahit nung time na parang sabi na hindi na siya tatakbo, nasa media pa rin. Tapos sinabi na tatakbo ulit, nasa media pa rin. So yung skill din niya very skillful siya. For a provincial mayor, very much ahead of the curve siya compared dun sa mga ibang mainstream candidates. So talagang kudos kay Mayor Digong.
So you think it was part of the strategy, yung pagiging magaspang ng kanyang pananalita?
I don't know. I think you could say that, but at the same time, may pagka-spontaneous kasi si Mayor Digong. I think yun din ang gusto ng tao, authentic siya.
So yung pagiging magaspang niya, na yun yung kumbaga criticism against him, pero at the same time, it was the one that actually endeared him to the people.
Yeah, exactly. Kasi gusto ng tao, iba na eh. So nag-stand out siya. Remember, election is like job application. So nakita na, itong mga to, may makinarya, kilala na ako, medyo galing lang sa peripheries. How do I stand out? So minsan, sumobra siya, pero para sa supporters niya, he always gives something that they're willing to fight for. Sa mga nasa Visayas and Mindanao, federalismo, gusto nila yon. Sa mga taga Metro Manila, tapusin yung krimen, 3 to 6 months. Of course, I think walang naman talagang maniniwala na ma-eliminate mo in 6 months, but lahat ng tao naniniwala na at least siya may political will.
What's his biggest challenge?
Oh, marami siyang challenge kasi ang taas ng expectation ngayon. So ngayon, reality is kicking in. I'm sure meron siyang 6 months honeymoon, so pagbigyan natin siya, we're gonna be nice to him. But within a year, expect mo na kung walang nangyari masyado, for instance, in terms of crime reduction, in terms of inclusive development, in terms of infrastructure, medyo aangal ng mga tao. Lalong-lalo na sa NCR. I think ngayon, NCR taga Duterte lang ngayon. Very pro-Duterte. But give it 1 year, kung wala talaga makikita ng tao masyado, then expect him to be critical. Pero yung Mindanao vote, I think they will always support him to the end. Homeboy kasi siya eh. So yun yung challenge sa kanya. So of course, first challenge para sa akin is inclusive development. Kasi kung hindi mo maresolba yung poverty at saka employment, hindi mo rin maresolve yung krimen. Alam natin, much of crime has to do with poverty. Correlated yung dalawa na yan. So dapat magkaroon ng isang klaseng quality growth para magkaroon din ng trabaho mga tao, which is related sa infrastructure. Masaya ako na he's focusing on people like Carlos Dominguez, for instance, the Dominguez brothers na magbigay sa kanya ng advice. I think mahalaga yan. DOTC yata ang bibigay niya kay Carlos Dominguez, if I'm not mistaken. I think public transportation is very important. For the economy at saka yung living standards ng mga maraming tao na bumoto sa kanya.
Si Digong made a history already.
Yes.
First president from
Mindanao,
Mindanao.
yes.
And interestingly, yung support niya coming from NCR. So, di ba, nagre-reklamo yung mga taga Mindanao, Imperial Manila.
Right.
But NCR helped in a way.
Right.
Ngayon, how do you interpret that? Na parang merong somebody from Mindanao, pero suportado ng so-called Imperial Manila.
Well, pag tignan mo yung numbers, I think he only won 3 out of 18 regions. Yung clear win niya. So, medyo concentrated din actually yung strength na. Yes, leading siya in all demographic classes, no? And all regions, pero actually average siya, no? So, if you break it down, mukhang ilan-ilang regions lang talaga siya very clear lead. Kaya nga yung average niya mataas. And remember, by the way, 38.5% ang bumoto sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, 60% hindi bumoto sa kanya. Okay. So, clear win siya kay Mar Rojas, 5 million votes, pero hindi siya binoto ng majority of Filipinos. So, mahalaga na si Mayor Digong will not also overrate his mandate. But I think at this time, may honeymoon period, binibigyan natin siya ng benefit of the doubt. And in fairness kay Mayor Digong, sabi niya, di na ako magmumura, I'll be careful about what I said. Kasi ako ngayon ang representative ng buong bansa, no? Gusto niya na makipag-attend na sa isang ASEAN meeting para makipag-halobilo sa mga ibang leaders. And then, pag tignan mo yung kabineta niya, most likely you might have people like General Esperon or Gibo Chodoro. You may have advisors like Cesar Virata. So you're having a lot of these kind of, exactly, Domingos. So you're having a lot of these very experienced, seasoned people na pwede pumasok. So anong sinisignal ni Mayor Digong? Iba na ngayon. Yung campaign trail, kalimutan niyo yung mga ibang sinasabi ko na medyo over the top. Ngayon, magiging responsable ako, more calibrated. And I wish the best for Mayor Digong. I hope tutuloy na talaga yung transition from a candidate na medyo minsan loose cannon into a responsible, calibrated president.
How do you think will the people adjust to this presumptive president? Kasi disciplinarian siya. Parang sanay yung mga tao sa hindi gaano disciplinarian na kind of a president.
I don't know. Actually, parang pag-observe mo, yung meeting de avance, like 300 to 600,000 ang
That's social
dumalaw.
media figure.
Pero ang
We don't
linis
know for
yung
a fact.
afterwards.
Could be more.
Nakita mo yung tao, yung mga dumalaw doon sa meeting de avance ni Mayor Digong. Parang nakita mo, inspired talaga sila. Malinis yung lugar, yung mga kalat, tinanggal ng mga tao. If you look at the images and pictures and all.
Yeah.
So sana ang mangyari kay Mayor Digong is that, hindi dahil sa fear sa sunod ng tao, dahil sa inspirasyon. Kasi nakikita
That's
nila
nice.
kay Mayor Digong yung inspiration na simpleng, disciplined person siya. So you can lead by inspiration, not by fear. And sa tingin ko, if he will do that for the next 6 years, talagang aangat ang Pilipinas, magbabago din tayo.
Yun, nasa process sila of coming up with the cabinet
Yes.
secretaries, no? Pero do you think to make a statement, dapat ba talaga mga totally ibang mga tao yung makita natin dito?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we be or dapat makita rin natin yung some of the people from the previous administration?
Sure. Well, first of all, sabi niya parang Justin Trudeau ang gusto niyang gawin cabinet. So magkakaroon ng gender balance. Maganda yan. I'm sure magkakaroon din ng more representation from Mindanao and Visayas. Kasi yun nga, underrepresented ng mga taga Mindanao. So naintindihan ko yung hatak talaga ni Mayor Digong. So federalism means more representation, more pluralism. But dapat meron din mga experienced people, mga may track record na para ang signal mo sa merkado, signal mo sa mundo ay we are gonna be a competent and effective government. Kasi kung masyadong baguhan lahat ng mukha, medyo baka yung hindi kampante yung merkado sa kanila, kampante yung mga ibang tao sa kanila. So I think magandang mix yung mukhang ginagawa niya. May mga experienced, seasoned technocrats na competent, may mga new faces din at gender balance din. So parang national unity. So in short, parang Justice League yung gagawin niya. Si Superman, of course, he couldn't do it alone, kaya dapat may Justice League siya. At yun ang makikita natin siguro in his administration.
Okay.
Alright, talagang
Exciting to watch.
exciting
Yeah.
yung administration na yan. So yan ang ating aabangan at babantayan. Maraming salamat sa inyo,
Thank you.
Professor Richard Heydarian, sa inyong pong pagbisita at sa mga insights na i-share niyo po sa amin.
It's my pleasure.